The first raid for Modern Warfare 2 Adam Grad has been out for a whole day now, and I've played it, I had my fun with it, it's a good time, and I in fact made my whole video talking about my thoughts on the raid that I'll link on screen if you guys hadn't seen already. But I realized that there is kind of a major issue with the raids, and it has nothing to do with the actual raid itself. It has something to do before you even get into the game, and what that is matchmaking, or quite literally the lack of any matchmaking. Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason Infinity Ward decided that raids had to be played with 3 people, no questions asked. It has to have 3 people. So of course you could just get friends and play with them. That works, that's how they want you to do it. But what happens if you don't have 2 other people who want to play the raids at the same time as you? Well, maybe you just play with some randoms, right? Well, no, because there isn't any matchmaking. And because of this makes it pretty difficult for people who don't have other people to play the raids with them at the exact same time they want to play. And this leaves people with 2 options: don't play the raid, or go join some random YouTubers Discord channel so you could try to find other people to play raids with there. And I saw this problem coming from a mile away, and this is the reason why before the raids even dropped I was advertising my Discord channel, because I knew people were going to have a hard time finding other people to play raids with, and that's why I'm advertising my Discord channel, for people to find other people to play with. And if you guys still are, by the way, looking for people to play raids with, head down to the description, or maybe linked on the screen, there's a link to my Discord. You go join that, and there's a section completely dedicated to raids for you to find other people to play with, and also just talk about the raids in general. But as much as this is a nice thing for my channel's Discord, right, that's a great thing for that, but I just don't think this should be the main way you're finding other people to play raids with. Sure, it should be an option to you to go find some group to find people to play the game with that are maybe better at the game, or just more used to it, or familiar with it, right? Like, that's fine, but it shouldn't be your only option. Just friends or some random YouTubers Discord shouldn't be your options to find other people to play the raids. And not just to find other people, but just to play the raids, period. Because as I mentioned, it has to be 3 players, and this is something that is a humongous oversight in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, I get why they want to do it. They want you to find people who are familiar with raids, people you're familiar with, to play these raids, but all that's currently doing is just making it difficult to play the raids, because people aren't always going to have 2 of their other real life friends, or people that they are friends with currently, always ready to play the raids. And this is a humongous oversight in my opinion. Now, of course, when most people think of this problem, everyone thinks of a quick and easy solution: just add matchmaking back into the game. And that would actually be a good thing. I would prefer that. That's a good thing, because being able to play the raids with randoms is better than not being able to play the raid at all. But I still think that they should take it a step further. Sure, add in matchmaking, that should be an obvious thing, but more than that, I personally think that the raids should allow you to play with as few people as you want, because right now it has to be 3 people, but I'm saying they should let us play with 2 or even 1 player if we wanted to. And the reason I say this is because you don't have to worry about more and more people. You don't have to worry about always having 2 other friends or 2 other people to play with, because being able to play with randoms is nice and all, but a lot of times people don't want to play with randoms. So for some people, it's better just off with playing duo or even solo, and this just lets people play the raids more often, because they're not limited by other people being on at the same time as them. They can play the raid if they want with 1 or even 2 people, or even 3 people if that's what they really want. It just gives people more options to play the game. And this is a problem that the other Call of Duty 3rd game mode had a problem with, and it's zombies, and the equivalent of those raids were the main Easter eggs. And for a long time, Easter eggs required 4 players. But as time went on, they realized that, hey, that's not really a cool thing. Letting people play the game with as many players as they want is definitely the way, because more people could experience it, more people could play it. You have more variety of ways to play the thing. And this is exactly why, ever since 2015, not a single zombies map has forced you to play with more than 1 player to complete its main quest. And this is something that I think raids just probably going to learn over time as well. Now, I do understand that some of the design decisions in this raid specifically have been designed for 3 players, and obviously the quick correction to this would be just don't design it for exclusively 3 players, design it for solo, 2-player, and 3-player too, and sure, that'll work for the future, but how about this raid specifically? Well, to me, yeah, sure, some things would be taken away if you start playing on solo or 2-player, like immediately my head jumps to the underwater area where you have to keep trading the oxygen tank with all the other players. Like, playing on solo would definitely take away from the intensity of that part of this mission, and also the final puzzle would probably be taken away a lot by playing that solo and compared to 3-player, because they'd probably have to add just a lot more time to the timers for that solo player could be able to run around, look at all the TVs, and make it back in time to put that same code in. And again, sure, that would take away from it, but at the end of the day, I think it's better to have more options to play than no options to play. And to me, it just makes sense that they would do something like this. And another thing I do understand is that if you look at other raids out there, I mean, especially like Destiny 2, Division 2, and stuff like that, like those raids, like those would never allow you to do it solo, right? And that makes sense for those raids, but I feel like there's a big difference between those raids and this one, because those raids need 6 players. This one only needs 3. And you know, dropping from 6 to 1 and 3 to 1 is a big difference. And to me, just based off this first raid, it feels like they could easily be made soloable. If there was some evidence to say otherwise, I wouldn't be saying this, but because I just don't see a good reason for why they shouldn't be solo or 2-playerable, then I'm just going to keep saying that they shouldn't require you to always have 3 players to even try to complete these raids. But regardless, that's my thoughts on this major issue with the raids currently. But I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. You guys agree with me? And if you do, what is your solution to this problem? Do you guys think my ideas are good, or do you think that there are some adjustments to be made? Regardless of what you think, let me know down in the comment section below. But that's going to be it for me. If you guys did enjoy the video, I would appreciate if you guys dropped a like, subscribe, bell, share, or any of that great stuff on your way out. But I'm going to go catch you guys next stream video, or the heck it may be, and laters, guys.